morning, and I hope that you had a good start to the month of June in your church. We had a tremendous day here at the Maranatha Baptist Church, and of course, with people out of town and on vacation, still a very full auditorium, and I'm excited to see that, and people saved and baptized, and some of my converts, I'm always excited to have my converts in church, and then they got baptized as well. That always helps out your weekend kind of going a little bit better. What a tremendous way to start out our summer. And of course, at Maranatha Baptist Church, we're always trying to push and trying to grow. Even in the summertime, we don't give up. We don't surrender and say, well, just going to be down. Can't do that. Can't allow summer to be an excuse to die. If that's your excuse, you'll find another excuse before long. Your church is dying, and never surrender to that. You've got a pastor. You go forward. You push hard. People are going to go to vacation, and that's okay. You challenge them to be in church while they're out, and so I'd encourage you. Make sure that you're in church, and let's see what God can do. God was good to us. He withheld some rain, just a torrential downpour that flooded out one of our parking lots until after the service on Sunday morning. Kind of cleared up enough for us to have church on Sunday night, and thankful for the Lord for doing that kind of stuff for us. And he kind of does that stuff a lot of times. I don't know how to say this. I feel like sometimes God does it just for us. I don't know. And but I do know that he's a good God, and I know that he's capable, and it's amazing what God does just so that souls can be saved. Well, today I want to read to you from Matthew chapter 20 and verse 1. The scripture says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard." Now, Jesus shows in a parable that he taught why the harvest is so plenteous. He tells of a man who went out early to hire laborers for the harvest, but could find very few that would work hard all day to reach the harvest. This man went out the third hour of the workday, and the sixth hour, and the ninth hour to find laborers. Get this now. So 4 times he went out, but never found enough laborers to reach the harvest. Now, it's sad that in the first hour of the harvest, this man did not have enough laborers to reach his harvest. It's also sad that this man had to go out every 3 hours to hire more laborers because he was unable to reap the whole harvest that he had. Had those who had the excuses or attitudes as to why they did not want to get involved in the harvest understood how vital the harvest was, I believe they would have gotten involved in the first hour. Now, sadly, there is a harvest of souls to be reached worldwide, but so many could-be laborers who believe in a harvest refuse to get involved. I'm not talking about people that are not saved. I'm talking about saved people. You see, the harvest of souls is about eternity, and I believe every believer believes this. This harvest of souls is about whether these souls will go to heaven or go to hell. Now, why is it that we have so few laborers in the harvest? Now, Jesus shows 4 reasons why people don't get involved in the harvest. First, they won't get involved in the harvest because they're worldly. This man went out early to hire laborers, but many who could labor were not there. Many believers let souls go to hell because they're more interested in their worldly interests than they are in reaching the souls of mankind. It's sad. It's a sad day when believers are more interested in their hobbies and playing and having fun than they are in the lost souls that will spend an eternity in heaven or hell. Second, the harvest is not reached because of lazy believers. So this man went out early in the morning, but some were just too lazy to get there. Reaching the harvest of souls is never going to be accomplished by lazy believers who just don't want to do anything that is too hard. You see, it takes labor to reach the harvest. But so many would rather play and let souls go to hell than labor to reach the lost souls of mankind. Third, the harvest is not reached because of uninvolved believers. Verse 3, we see people standing idle in the marketplace, and I don't get that. Now, there are many standing idle in the pews or sitting idle in the pews who will never get involved just because They just don't want to get involved in this thing called soul winning. They'll watch others reach the harvest, and they'll enjoy watching the harvest being reached, but they will not lift one little finger to reach the harvest. How sad. Every believer ought to be involved in the harvest. Every uninvolved believer who won't get involved in the harvest represents many souls that will go to hell. You see, being uninvolved means you're going to let people go to hell. That's what it means. Fourth, the harvest is not reached because of self-centered believers. Isn't that sad? In verse 4, the man talked to people about hiring them, but they went their way. These people were engulfed in their own way of living. They didn't care. They didn't care what that souls were going to hell. Many souls will go to hell because believers who go their own way, it's just all about them and what they want to do instead of following the way of Christ. Now, my friend, do you find yourself as a problem in reaching the harvest? It's always the idle believers who are at fault for the harvest not being reached. It's those who are lazy and just won't get involved. Every believer should be involved in the harvest. And by doing so, we could reach this harvest of lost souls in our area, whatever your area is, we could certainly reach it. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you letting the harvest rot, or are you out there in the harvest? This is what I've learned. I've been in the ministry really pretty much my entire life, whether it be a preacher's kid or involved in the ministry full time as myself. This is what I've learned. It's only a remnant of people, a small amount of people who are involved in reaching the lost, that go out and try to bring people in. That's why our churches are being built. Imagine if everybody in the church got involved, how quickly a church would grow and how quickly it would fill up if everybody just got involved. I'm not saying you have to give 8 hours a day. I'm saying that everybody ought to be involved. Everybody ought to pass out a little gospel tract. Anybody can go out and say, you know what? I can give a little gospel tract like this. I can say, I can give this to somebody and ask somebody if they're going to go to heaven. I can explain to them the gospel. It's just simply by asking. Anybody can hand out a gospel tract, say, hey, would you come to church with me? You get everybody in the church involved in trying to reach the harvest. We'll reach more lost souls. We'll never reach them all. I get that. But can I say this? We could reach a whole lot more if everybody got involved. Would you get involved and invite somebody to church this next week? Would you do something? Would you say, you know what? I want to do my best. I want to invite as many people as I can this week and see what I can do to get people to come to church. And preacher, would you do this? Would you have some programs that would stir your people to try to get people to come in and give people a reason to want to come? There has to be a reason. Compel them to come in. Why? Because there's a heaven, there's a hell. Let's do our part in reaching the harvest for Jesus Christ. Well, I hope this is a great help to you today. Now, let's remember today, be good to everyone. Everyone's